is one terrible part about playing in the Big Ten. Every once in a while, you have to play the Michigan State defense. With that in mind, we bring in Max Bullough now, the senior linebacker for the Spartans, off another great week. He joins us on the April Air Hotline. What did your defense do best on Saturday, Max?
I think the first thing you got to look at is the offense. The offense was able to control the ball, run the ball and control the clock for at least the second part of the first half and the first part of the second half. So that in itself is going to allow us to be a good defense. But if you look at Illinois' offense, they've been a team that's been able to get a lot of yards, score a lot of points against a lot of really good defenses. If you look at their schedule, but I think we took away what they wanted to do. We took away each little part of their game, and when they tried something new, it didn't work. And if it did work, we were able to solve the puzzle, if you will, rather quickly. So when you can take a team out of its element and take away what they want to do, then you're going to have the upper hand right away.
He's a team player. Ask him about the defense, and the first thing he does is go offense. All right, Max, where do you think this defense still needs to improve? Where can you guys get better?
I think you can look at areas. We always want to get more turnovers. That's something that you win and lose games off creating, making turnovers, and not losing them. So I think you can always have more turnovers. You can always get more pressure on the quarterback, more sacks, hits, hurries, whatever it is. As much as you can affect the quarterback in today's game and then get the ball. There's going to be opportunities where you got to make a play, and there's going to be times you need to create a play, and we need to take advantage of both those situations.
I've been impressed by your defense from the standpoint of you could give up a play, and I'll go back to that Indiana game when you gave up a big run. You guys make adjustments really quickly, not only the coaching staff, but obviously it's getting to the players, getting that information. Can you take us through how you actually do that when you come off the field, or if you're able to do it on the field when you make those adjustments?
In terms of that play, we were able to make that one on the field. We were kind of game planning that in terms of we were going to kind of let that play happen and let that play, exactly that play itself out before we made an adjustment to see if they were going to try to exploit that. It's just being able to communicate with the coaches. I think I've played here a lot, and there's a lot of guys that have been on the field a lot for us. Curtis Drummond, Danico Allen, Hoover, guys that have played a lot, so we can, not only play when we're out there, but we can come off and say, okay, it was this formation, they ran that, this guy pulled, whatever it was, and to be able to remember that and to be able to, communicate that with the coaches because they see it too, then we can make adjustments that much faster.
Max, you mentioned some of the guys on your defense. You throw in a Shalik Calhoun, who's a very talkative guy. Who does the most talking on the field?
You mean in terms of to the other team or in terms of our defensive communication?
No. Who's talking the most to the other guys?
Shalik, I think Shalik's, he's very flamboyant. I think everybody knows that. He's outgoing. A lot of the DBs like to talk, Curtis, Darquez is, an animated character. Guys just get in and have fun. I don't really do it that much, just purely because I don't have enough energy to talk after the play, but I do a lot of it before. But yeah, guys are out having fun, and when we're doing well, more guys can do that.
Let's get technical for a second. Michigan, they have a really talented tight end in Devin Funchess, big physical guy, and now they're splitting them out. What kind of matchup problems does that present?
It's tough when you got a big guy out there in the corner, especially with the defense that we play. We put our corners in a lot of tough positions for most of the game, asking them to cover guys one-on-one, down the field, and then also help us with the run when it gets to the edges. So it just creates another dimension for us to have to cover. We have to be able to have guys that are able to stay with them down the field and also be physical with them up front.
Again, it is Michigan week for you. Now, your freshman and your sophomore year, you beat them. Your junior year, you lost to them. What's that like? What's the difference the week after losing to Michigan versus beating Michigan?
Oh, man, it's the biggest high to the lowest low. Michigan's a game that obviously we look forward to. It's a game that we want to win every year. It's a game that's bold-lettered on our schedule, I think. We don't deny that. It's the nature of the rivalry. It's something that's been here long before I was even born, and long after I'll be around. So it's something that's ingrained in you. Even if you're from Florida or from somewhere out of state, and you come to Michigan State or you go to Michigan, you understand the importance of that rivalry. The weight that it holds in terms of if you win that game, you really feel good about yourself, and you're able to you're able to say that you won that game, and that's a game that you remember when you're older. When you're older, you say, I beat Michigan here, or I lost to Michigan here. You remember that. Similar to when you play Notre Dame. So it's a pride game. It's a game full of pride, and I'm looking forward to it.
And that game is coming up on Saturday. Max Bullough of the Michigan State Spartans, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it. Good luck this weekend, Max.
Hey, thanks for having me.